very good afternoon to everyone here. I hope you're all refreshed from your networking break. So I'm Rukmani, and I head the regional marketing operations of Qntrl for the Asia-Pacific region. I would like to start my discussion today by mentioning a few B2C apps that we all use on an everyday basis. Right? So there is Amazon, Swiggy, Uber, Ola. Now let's take one of these apps, for example, Swiggy. Swiggy has three key stakeholders. It has its customers, delivery partners, and restaurants. Now, all of these three stakeholders, they have their own apps. When you look at the app for the customers, they will be able to look at all the restaurants, look at the menu, place the order, and also track the order, know when it will be delivered, who will deliver it to them, all of this on one single app. Similarly, for the delivery partners and similarly for the restaurants as well. They will be able to look at all the orders received so far, the orders that were cancelled, why they were cancelled, the customer feedback in general, the monthly revenue from Swiggy. Again, all of this on one single app. So all these things that I mentioned now are regular routine processes that happen on an everyday basis in Swiggy. And what Swiggy has done is it has automated these processes. It has automated these processes so that every stakeholder, they know exactly what they have to do, when they have to do it, and how they have to do it. The due dates are clear, the desirables are clear, there is no ambiguity whatsoever. But when you look at the processes within our own companies, it's not always so clear with how we work. Every day, a business unit head or a manager steps into work. There are at least 10 missed calls, 50 emails, and 6 to 7 meetings scheduled every day. And most of these are not for any groundbreaking efforts, but for regular issues like travel issues, reimbursement problems, procurement troubles. In fact, we identified 4 key problems in our routine internal processes. Problem number 1. Now, for any process, to finish that process, usually multiple business units and teams have to come together to finish that process. Now, when things are going well, there is absolutely no problem. In fact, then teams are too enthusiastic to claim responsibility for that success. But it is when things are going wrong, when there is a failure, when there is a barrier, that is when all the finger pointing and blame game begins, which is why accountability is a problem. Problem number 2. Now let's say you have your marketing head and the marketing head needed a campaign to be ready on one particular day, but the campaign is not ready. Now for them to find out why it wasn't ready, was it because of the content team? Was it because of the branding team, the design team? Or is the problem with the process that was followed? Now to understand this, they have absolutely no choice but to schedule a few meetings, speak to everyone involved, and look at past emails, look at past chat conversations. Understanding what actually happened is a problem. Process visibility is a problem. Problem number 3. Within our own companies, we have a lot of policies. Let's say every time a procurement request comes and it crosses a certain amount, it needs to go to the head of finance for approval. Or any change to a high-risk data will need 4 different levels of approvals. Now, ideally, your employees cannot skip these steps. But in reality, that's not always the case. Process adherence is a problem. Finally, the last problem of the day. This is a very common problem, and it doesn't happen just to us. Let's take NASA. NASA sent a climate orbiter to Mars, and it was a $300 million project. But the orbiter entered at the wrong altitude and disintegrated. Now, when NASA tried to find out why this happened, they realized that they had a contract with a third-party organization called Lockheed. Lockheed was supposed to design a software that will give the value of force in newtons. But instead, Lockheed designed the software to give the value of force in pounds. Neither did Lockheed nor NASA check this before implementing the software in real, which is why coordination is a very common problem. A lot of skilled workers, knowledgeable workers across business units in all our companies are so busy tackling these everyday problems. They are so busy finding out how should I do this job, who should I pass this on next to, that they don't have the time to add the expected value to your business. In fact, this is what Mr. Cal Newport quotes in his book Deep Work as busyness as proxy for productivity. So what can you do? You can automate your processes. When I say automate processes, I'm not saying bring in bots and replace all humans. That's not possible for all processes. What you can do is you can automate the process workflows. Automate who has to do what, when they have to do it, and how they have to do it. Automate the due dates, automate the desirables, so that there is no ambiguity in your everyday processes. Now, you're probably thinking of two different ways to do this. One is to go for a third-party tool for every process that you have. But with this approach, the problem is you will evaluate a lot of software in the market, you will end up buying a lot of tools for every process that you have, and then you will spend an equally longer amount of time either adjusting your process to fit the tool or adjusting the tool to fit the process. And even after that, the data that you need will be in silos across these tools. Some of this data might not be formatted correctly, some of this data could be duplicated. So at the end of the day, you will not have all this data in one single dashboard for you to take your business decisions. So the second option that you're probably thinking is building your own in-house tool. But with this option, the problem is you need a team of skilled coders who will actually spend a lot of time coding the software for you. And then they will spend an equally longer amount of time customizing it and making it more efficient. Now, even after deployment, you need this team on standby to maintain that tool. Which means, with this approach, there is a lot of delay in progress for business units, and for the IT teams, this is not a very cost-effective solution. So the best alternative that I would suggest for this is to go for a low-code, no-code process automation tool. Qntrl was established in the year 2021 as a subdivision of Zoho Corporation, and Zoho and thereby Qntrl, we have offices and data centers across the globe. So Qntrl was launched in order to address the process and workflow needs of the market. With Qntrl, your business units will have access to a drag and drop interface where they will be able to automate all of their processes on their own. They will be able to say that these are the steps involved in the process, who needs to do each of these steps, when they have to do it, how they have to do it. They can automate emails, automate SLAs, automate notifications, all of this with absolutely no code. And behind this no-code interface of Qntrl is a strong low-code interface with capabilities that support connectors, integrations, client scripts, server scripts. So you as the IT team, you will be able to use these low-code features to further customize the processes that were built. So you can integrate with any systems that you already have. You can apply any complex business logic to the processes that were built. And you will be able to do all of this in a much quicker fashion because a low code will minimize the amount of coding that's required. Now, once you build your processes, automating them also takes only a few clicks and absolutely no code. And once you deploy them, you will be able to see exactly how your processes run. You will be able to see, every business unit will be able to see how long a process takes to run, which parts of the process are causing a delay, why is there a delay? Is it because of an individual? Is it because of a team? Or is it because of the process itself? And once you realize those things, once you analyze these things, if you want to make changes to your process, or if you want to make changes because you're moving to a new geography or bringing in new product line, you will be able to do that a lot more quickly and easily given the no-code and low-code interface that we have. Once you automate your processes with Qntrl, you will be able to track every single process and every single request on Qntrl, right? So Qntrl basically acts as an X-ray for your processes. Now let's say you have a recruitment process, right? And you want Qntrl to generate interview letters automatically, send it out to candidates, wait for a week. If there is no response from the candidates, mark them as rejected. Qntrl will do all of this for you. You have a procurement request. You want it to be sent to different people for approval depending on the amount that is there on the request. Qntrl will do it for you. So Qntrl will be able to automate any process that you have based on any condition or time constraint. Whether you have cloud tools in your company or on-premise tools, it doesn't matter. Qntrl will be able to integrate with any tool that you have as well. Now, once you automate processes in Qntrl, all the processes, forms, requests, reports, all of these will be available on an Android app as well as an iOS app with absolutely no efforts from your end. The whole maintenance is on us. So at any point of time, all these 3 versions, the data will be in sync. Now, you're probably looking to automate a simple process or a complex process, a process that is a backbone to your business or one that aids your daily operations. So no matter what, we have a very strong implementation team who are ready to help you right from the beginning of an idea until process deployment or anywhere in between as per your choice. Today, every department and every business unit, they need to cut costs. You need to move from being a cost center to a center that actually adds value to your business. And Qntrl's per user-based pricing model with the kind of value that we offer is very competitive, and it will help you do that year on year, quarter on quarter, month on month. We are compliant with all international security standards. We are compliant with all international privacy laws as well. And over the 2 years since our launch, we have worked with a lot of companies, and all of these companies, what we are seeing is this collaborative approach towards process automation has seen a lot of traction. Where business units and IT teams, they come together to automate the processes. Because this kind of an approach has proven to be very effective in keeping the goals of the process in focus. So over the last 2 years, we have worked with a lot of companies and a lot of prominent clients from India itself. And the kind of processes that we have automated, it hasn't been limited to any one particular department or use case, but rather spread across a spectrum. So to give you a few examples, we worked with the Model Cooperative Urban Bank that's headquartered in Hyderabad. Now, they had a problem understanding what was happening at each level of their gold loan process. Plus, RBI guidelines constantly change, so they had to implement those and retrain their employees. And also, with gold loans, the risk of loan default was also very high. So now, they've automated their gold loan evaluation and sanctioning process with Qntrl. So now what happens is, every time gold is evaluated, a gold appraiser certificate is generated automatically by Qntrl. Every time a loan is sanctioned, the loan sanction letter is generated automatically by Qntrl. The EMIs for the loans are calculated automatically by Qntrl. The RBI guidelines are incorporated in the process and mandated by default with absolutely no efforts for retraining the employees required. And plus, the upper management has access to a dashboard with very key specific reports, like the number of gold loan applications received over a period of time, the number of loan applications received against every gold loan type that they offer, and a Kanban view of all the loan requests with their current status. Now, similarly, we've also worked with Polybond, which is part of the Anand Rathi group and based out of Pune. So they used to work with spreadsheets and emails, but they've now automated their payments approval, CapEx indents, and recruitment process with Qntrl. We also worked with Movion. This is an Italian firm, and they are into intelligent transport system solution provider. So they didn't have a central process management tool for their warehouse operations. Instead, they depended on a shared system of mailbox and phone calls to coordinate all of their warehouse processes. But since automating these processes with Qntrl, they've cut down on their coordination emails and phone calls by more than 90%. Right? And the whole process has been a lot more streamlined, and they have an accurate snapshot of exactly what is happening in every warehouse that they own. So similarly, we are very confident that we will be able to automate any process that you need for any department in your institution as well, which is why we would like to offer a free proof of concept demo for any process of your choice. You can choose to explain that process in as much detail as you need. We will set up a demo exclusively for that process. You can look at what kind of a value Qntrl can add to your company and then proceed to explore the platform if you wish. Right? So we have a booth right outside. I think we met some of you already. We would love to chat with the others as well. But in case you don't find the time to speak to us today, please email us at sales@qntrl.com and we'll be happy to work with you. Thank you.